Hey everyone, so I wanted to make this video reviewing pretty much Outlast Trials. Now, I know a lot of people ask me all the time in the streams is like, should I pick this game up? Is it worth picking up? And, just reviewing the latest update with the invasion mode and, the Halloween event and all the stuff that came along with it. We're just going to cover all that in this video. So first thing I really want to talk about is Red Barrels, who is the developer of Outlast Trials. I feel like they get it what the fans actually want. It's a breath of fresh air in a very negative gaming space that we're currently in, with a lot of horror multiplayer games out there. We've covered them all on this channel: Dead by Daylight, TCM, Evil Dead, Killer Clowns. Ultimately they always fell short. They still fall short on a lot of people's expectations of games, and people realizing the potential of games. And you see the updates come out, they break the game, they make it unplayable, people uninstall the game, it's almost like there's no quality assurance there. And it's just the total opposite with Outlast Trials. I've only recently gotten into the game again. I have streamed it previously, I think I started last year. I streamed it a couple of times. It wasn't like I didn't want to play the game, it was just there was other stuff going on that really pulled my attention away from the game, if that makes sense, the way I didn't really cover it much. But, the last couple of weeks we've been streaming it, I've been having a ton of fun, being in the voice chat, talking to everybody while we're going through trials, doing the PvP and all that good stuff. Like I said, it's just a total breath of fresh air. It's like a totally different way of seeing how a game can be updated. And like I said, because I've been in it recently, I don't know if they've had bad updates. I don't know if they've put updates out that have broke the game before. I'm just, from my recent experiences of playing this game, every time the update has come out, I haven't really had any issues. The game's felt the same. It hasn't felt broken. Maybe there will be the odd bug here and there, but I've never really experienced that myself. It's not like when Dead by Daylight gets an update and like 700 things get broken, or when TCM got an update, people couldn't load the game up on Xbox. It's just nothing like that really happened. I will say there was more of just a server issue with the last update that they, you send them a ticket, it got fixed in under an hour. So, yeah, I just got to give them praise for it. It's nice to actually come onto a video and be positive for once about a video game, rather than sitting here shitting on developers all the time, because as I said, it's just a totally change of it's just I don't know, effort, I guess, what they put into it. It seems like everything that they do it right. There's quality assurance there. They make sure things are working okay, and they actually want to implement community feedback with the recent invasion mode, which is obviously the PvP. Basically, we'll just go over the mechanics real quick. You'll be doing a normal trial as a reagent, and people can invade your trial. You can have up to 4 people, depending on how many of you are doing the trial. For example, if there's 2 of you, then pretty much 2 people can come in, or 1 or 2 people can come in. If there's 4 of you, then 4 people can join, but only 2 can invade at a time, basically. So that's kind of how it works. And there'll be one of them on the cameras. You'll be spotted on the cameras, so they put cameras around the map where people can be pinged and show the other imposters where you are, and then they'll try and come and kill you, basically. It's a pretty simple PvP, and it adds a little bit of fun to the game, a little bit of tension. And you probably would never expect Outlast to have some PvP, but there you go. Is it the PvP I would have done? Personally, not. It is still a fun PvP mode to add to the game, but me personally, I probably would have liked to have seen more Resident Evil Resistance style of like mastermind levels of you're controlling the trial for people who are trying to complete it, and you're adding in enemies, you're putting down extra mines, tripwires and stuff like that. I feel like that would be a lot more fun. But can't take it away from them. I think the PvP they added is totally fine for what the game is. And I can't give them, bad props for doing that. Me personally, I think the mastermind route would have been better, but it is still a fun game mode. And the smart thing that they did with this game mode is release it with a Halloween event. And we got the little Halloween event going on. They did a big update with this invasion update. They changed a lot of the ecosystem on the game as well, with currency and XP, and when you rebirth, you get like 10,000 XP now, and you get extra tokens. And, there's just loads of stuff like that goes on in the game. They make the grind a bit more rewarding, rather than it feeling grueling. There's so many games out there again, we'll come back to other horror games like TCM and Evil Dead, where sometimes you just felt like you weren't really getting enough XP to really level up your stuff, you know, or level up your character. Outlast feels really balanced in that department, where they're actually wanting to, you know, make your time worthwhile. So every time you play the game, you're getting XP, you're doing your tasks, you're collecting the objectives, and you're getting even more XP for doing your tasks. There's a ton of cosmetics you can get in the game as well for free. Like, I've earned so many free cosmetics in the game, I don't even know where to begin with them. And the Halloween event being free as well, you can go back and buy previous Halloween events if you want to do that as well, like what I did. I had some spare coins, so I went back. There's just loads of catalogs in the game. I literally just went and bought one of the old Halloween catalogs and then just grinded that as well. So you could, there's no real like FOMO in this game now either. You can go back and buy the previous catalogs of stuff. Again, a big win for the game in my book. And, you know, just talking about the trials are really fun. You know, some of them can be a bit repetitive, but, you know, majority of them are really fun in terms of, you know, the puzzles you have to figure out and the things you have to achieve to progress throughout the trial and then to get out as well. And, you know, while you're doing that, you can be invaded. Now, there is a way you can turn invasion off, so if you don't want to be invaded by other players. However, you do get more XP if you do just, you know, go up against people and have the invasion set and turned on. And, you know, people do invade your trial, you will get more XP that way too. And there's other things you can do as well. We're not really going to do a whole, you know, tips on how to play Outlast Trials, but there is a lot of stuff in the game. You know, there's passive upgrades, there's different rigs and loadouts and stuff you can do to really, you know, play in your unique way if you want to do that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the update that I wanted to talk about. You know, it's been a really good one, and like I said, I want to give them props as well for implementing the community feedback. You know, it come out like a couple of weeks ago, the invasion update, and they have done like 2 or 3 hot fixes already with balance changes for the PvP. So they're like that, you know, they want to get the PvP in a good spot. They actually care about it. It's not like they're just dumping it in the game and leaving it and then letting it fester for 3 months like these other games would. So yeah, I can't really give them enough praise. Red Barrels are doing a really good job with Outlast Trials, and, you know, from what I'm seeing here, hopefully that'll help you decide on what you want to do with the game. You know, if you want to get it, if you want to pick it up. You know, I know it's been on sale recently. I would say I really recommend buying it because, like I said, it's a breath of fresh air and horror multiplayer game in space right now. It actually gets updates, and when the updates come out, they're actually good and they don't break the game and they're not miserable or half-assed. They actually do a really good job of it. So shortly we'll be getting the winter event as well, probably in a month's time from making this video. We should be getting the winter event, so there'll be even more free stuff to grind and more things to do. And they all have these different modifiers during events for trials as well. Like in the Halloween one right now, there's more AI imposters coming into the game. So there'll be fake ones that come and try and stab you. And, you know, you'll have the jump scares happening a lot more frequently as well. And, you know, there's just different side objectives you can do during the event to achieve some tasks there. But yeah, hopefully you liked this video, and if you did like it, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments about Outlast Trials, feel free to leave them down below. Hit that subscribe button for more videos like this on this channel as well. I've been Pixel, this is my awesome viewers. I catch you guys in the next one.